Hey, it's another week, another recipe, and we are ending 2022 with an old-fashioned molasses popcorn ball to add to your New Year's munchies. Come join me. Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Courtney Morris, and I cook history's forgotten recipes out of random cookbooks I find, sometimes websites, and today it's from a little card from an old family recipe box. If you're new here, I hope you enjoy this video and I hope you join our community. Hit the subscribe button, please. I would love to have you here. We have a lot of fun. And if you're coming back for more, hello again, and I hope you are enjoying the last couple weeks of December. All right, let's get to it. All right, so for the third week in a row, I'm going to apologize for my voice. It is coming back and I don't sound like Roz from Monsters, Inc. anymore. Now it just sounds like somebody put the volume down and I don't feel like I can project. So hopefully the sound quality is okay. That being said, today is the last week of December. As I'm filming this, it is the day before Christmas Eve. So I am using this as a last minute Christmassy treat, if you will. We've got people coming over and I think it'll go over really well. But by the time this goes out to all of you guys, you are going to be seeing this the week right before New Year's, and this could be equally applicable to your New Year's celebration. We're going to be making old-fashioned molasses popcorn balls. Now I've made popcorn balls in the past, years and years ago, and it was almost like Rice Krispie treats. You use the marshmallows, and then I've used like a sugar concoction, but I've never had the molasses version. I found this recipe in a box of recipes from my husband's great aunt from, we think about the 1920s on forward, but this one didn't have a date on it. So it's somewhere in between the 1920s and the 1950s-ish. But either way, it's been around for a while. Popcorn as a holiday treat, especially sugared popcorn, has been around for quite a while. Either way, I think we're going to enjoy it. So let's get started. Okay, so December's theme was supposed to be easy, budget-friendly, edible gifts that you could give, and this is no exception. But it somehow ended up in candy making all month long, which is fine. So this is easier than last week's, the taffy episode. This is going to be a really easy one. And the first thing you're going to do is line a baking sheet with parchment paper. I kind of like using a big jelly roll pan because it has a lip that nothing can roll off of or spill off of as that easily. So I'm going to stick that over there. And then you're going to get out a big bowl. This is our popcorn bowl. This is a big bowl, and you're going to grease the sides of it. You don't want any of this sticking. Remember, if you watched the last video, butter is your best friend when you're working with melted sugar. Now, for the sake of time, I pre-made my popcorn because my family also wanted some, so I've got some. I do the stovetop method. You can do, air pop, whatever you want to do. Just make sure that you are not using microwave. It has to be just regular, non-salted, non-buttered, just normal, plain popcorn. All right, so 10 cups of popcorn. I'm going to stick that over here because we are going to start this process. So combine molasses, sugar, and water. Okay, so a third cup of molasses, okay, 3/4 cups of sugar, and a 1/4 cup of water. I'm going to stir that around, put it on medium, and I'm going to get it to a rolling boil. All right, we are now to a boil. We're going to wait a few more minutes to start our time, but we want to get this up to about 260 degrees. We're at a rolling boil. If you remember what I said in last week's video, don't move. Don't move from your stove. If you don't have a candy thermometer, use a meat thermometer to kind of gauge where you're at. Obviously, 212 is boiling, and you can kind of gauge that's 220, 240, and it stopped about 240. So it needs to go up another 20. And because this is so little volume of liquid, it shouldn't take very long to get to the stage you need. And one of the great things is because it's colored, you're going to be able to see the consistency in your water test really easily. So right now, let me get it out. Right now we're sticky, but still stringy. I don't know if you can see that on camera. I probably should get a close-up of that, but it's still stringy, which means it's not gonna hold the popcorn together very well. It's just gonna be more like a coated syrupy consistency. Refresh my water and we'll try it again in a minute. To get to 260, it's about 6 minutes with this volume of liquid. It's gonna be a little more if you have more volume, obviously, because it's gonna take longer to heat through. Okay, so we're about 245 and we're still, it's getting better, but still drippy. We have hit about 260. We have gotten to the point where it's a thick caramel and we're gonna take it off the stove. Okay, so here we are at the end. It's very hot still, very bubbly. And we're gonna add in the last of our ingredients here. So we need to stir in vinegar, salt, butter, and vanilla. The vinegar, I don't know exactly what that does. I know there's some chemical process in there, but it's 2 teaspoons. It typically says apple cider vinegar, and I'm not sure if that's because that's what they had, or if you could use white vinegar. Honestly, I don't know the food science behind that, but it bubbles. It stinks. It smells like an Easter egg. Okay, moving on. Okay, I don't know what I was expecting. All right, and then we're gonna do a teaspoon of salt, 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla, and 3 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gonna let that mush in. Now, you can see why I reprint these things. I tend to be kind of a messy cook, and I really just didn't want to get the card messy, and I already just put molasses water all over my recipe. So, good call on my part, right? It reminds me of like obviously caramel is a burnt sugar. I mean, that's just caramel in its essence is burnt sugar. But because molasses is also a byproduct of the sugar making, you have almost that burnt, but like a rich, buttery, vanilla-y. I don't even know how to describe it. It smells so good. Okay, my butter is melted. Now it's time to put it over my popcorn. And we are just gonna drizzle this evenly over top of our popcorn. And we kind of gotta work fast because as this cools, it gets hard. And then we're going to stir it around with our spatula just to try to evenly coat everything. Now it's time to put them into popcorn balls. And y'all, if you've ever made popcorn balls, it's easy. Butter your hands, oil your hands, butter preferably, but you don't have to. And just start mushing them together. I'm just gonna do kind of hand-sized balls. And we're just gonna put them on our parchment paper and just let them cool off and just set together. This made 12 of my palm-sized balls. You can make them as big or as small as you want. I mean, honestly, it really ends up being caramel corn in the shape of a ball, but this time with molasses flavor. If you try to mush it into a ball and they keep just falling apart in your hands, that's because it's too hot still. It just needs a couple minutes to cool down. All right, I just took these out of the fridge. It smells like that store that used to be in the malls that would sell all the different kind of like colored popcorn. I never went in, but every time you walked by it, it smelled like that. It smells like the 90s. It smells like a 90s shopping mall. Let's give it a try. That's interesting. That is interesting. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's interesting because I think in my head I was expecting caramel corn, but the flavor is not necessarily like molasses flavor, like if you were to chug it out of a bottle. It's not that flavor. It's sweet, but then it's got a tang to it, which I can't tell if it's the molasses or if it's the vinegar. I have nothing bad to say about that. Would I try using the mild flavor? Yeah, probably. There's almost a slight bitter to it, and I think I don't know. It's a toss-up between these 2 ingredients, and I'm not sure why we need this, but if you're looking for like a really super sweet treat, this isn't it. These aren't that sweet. It's more flavor than sugar flavor. All right, so if you're still here with me, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed your holidays. I hope this gives you at least some inspiration for your New Year's festivities or any other time of the year festivities, or just because it's, a Tuesday night. Thank you again for putting up with my voice that has left me. I really appreciate you sticking in with me. This is so annoying, and I'm really, really hoping by New Year we can start afresh with me not sounding absolutely awful. But I hope you guys are weathering the storms that are out there right now, and I hope you have a wonderful holiday season into the new year. And if you need something else to watch after this to help get you through the new year, I'd recommend this video right here, and I hope you take it easy and get ready for the next year with me. I will see you next Monday with a new historical video. All right, bye.